ready.
Ow!
All right. Thank you, Mary.
Well, thank you so much. First of all, it's great to be here again, and I want to apologize to the folks who attended my Blues 101 class. I made a rather sudden departure, and you might wonder what it was about. I simply, a dog of my age, simply had to go to the bathroom. I'm sorry, but that's okay. I'm back and empty now, right? So anyway, I want to start off with a song that my grandmother brought home a record. Some of you remember what records were. And this record sort of changed my life. It was Sonny Terry and Brownie McGee. And that's one of the reasons I'm such a big fan of Happy. Because he was like, he co wrote this great book called The Blues According to Brownie McGee. And they were doing songs like Hooray, Hooray, This Woman is Killing Me, Cornbread, Peas, and Black Molasses. And, My Baby Done Changed the Lock on the Door. So there's one of the songs they used to do. Brownie really led it. It's a song called Gone But Not Forgotten. Now, when we do this jam, we're going to try to stick to like fairly simple chord changes that everybody can follow. And this is no exception. It's in the key of E. It goes E to B7, which is a 1-5-4 progression, to A, back to E, B7, back to E, turn around, which is in E. And in fact, I think I'm gonna just call the keys the first time around. My baby and me, we never used to fight. E. Used to hug, hug and kiss at night. A7, E. Well, on one morning, she had gone B7 way. E. Ever since she went away. A. My heart does nothing but A. Oh, address is unknown. E. B7. Blues is here to stay. She gone but not forgotten. Hey, tell you the reason why. Hey, had the kind of love that would satisfy. Now here's the only one that's a little tricky. C sharp. She had love like the ocean rolling to the A. B comes in with a tide. E. I hope, Lord, I hope there comes a day she let her love roll by my way and explain to me herself the reason why she left. I think that's it. My baby and me, we never used to fight. Used to love and kiss at night. I came home one morning and she had gone away. satisfied. She had love like the ocean rolling that comes in with the tide. Well, I hope, Lord, I hope there comes a day she let her love roll by my way and explain to me herself the reason why she left. Let Sonny play a little bit while we get out our inner brownie. She gone but not forgotten. Tell you the reason why. She had the kind of love that would satisfy. She had love like the ocean rolling, comes in with the tide. Well, I hope, Lord, I hope there comes a day she let her love roll by my way and explain to me herself the reason why she left.
Oh, thanks,
Nicely
Robert.
done.
That was fantastic. How about if Mary, how about if you take the next one?
Yes, that's a great idea. I have one song I could do. That's a start, isn't it? Hi, everybody. It's really nice to see everybody's faces. I was confused on that song because I could have sworn he said B sharp at one point, and I thought, B sharp? What's he talking about? B sharp.
I'm talking about the way you look.
Feel sharp, B sharp. That's what I always say. I finally figured it out. It was G sharp. So, Robert, when you play, if you can get a little more guitar, and I don't know if you can without, you're pretty quiet for me, but that's all right. I hope this
Okay.
is all gonna be able to hear all this here. So I'm gonna do this Ma Rainey tune. I'm gonna take my low E string down to a C, believe it or else. So it's gonna go here. Here would be drop D tuning, right? Go one more, kind of tune it to a C. You don't have to do that. It's in the key of C, and you'll kind of hear I do it because it sounds really nice. And it sounds nice in the bass of an F chord. And G is where things are different because you gotta either get your G up here at the 7th fret of the 6th string for your G chord, or you can get it here with a B in the bass, or any way like that. But you don't. This doesn't work anymore if you're in this tuning. So anyway, stay in standard if you'd like, and maybe realize that eventually, if you want to add this in, you can. Here's your G. So it's C. C7 to F, back to C, G, oh C, C rider, see what you done, honey, you made me love you, now your gal has come. You made me love you, now your gal has come. Well, I'm going away, baby, I won't be back till fall. Going away, won't be back till fall. ain't buttoned, clothes don't fit you right. You did not come home till the sun was shining bright. Everybody take a solo here, right on C. F. Gonna buy me a pistol, long and tall. I'm gonna shoot my man, ride the cannonball. If you can't have me, won't have no gal at all. And no more potatoes. You know the frost has killed the vine, and the blues ain't nothing but a good man on your mind. Yes, the blues ain't nothing but a good man on your mind. Let's go to the 5 here. Back to C. C.C. Ryder. Man, you guys are so quiet. I could see you playing, but I sure couldn't hear you.
So, I think Mary and I have decided, for the most part, we're gonna be unmuted, and we know that you guys are muted, so that's one of the reasons I cannot listen to Mary without wanting to play along, so I had to put my guitar down. So what we were thinking was, as we go along through this, there are ways you can either tell us through the chat. I think there might be one of those little raise your hand icons or something where you want to get your attention of the host, and we can unmute you and we can jam along with any or all of you, just like you're jamming with us. So we're really looking forward to getting some songs going here. So I'm gonna ask Peter, what's shaking in Control Central?
Well, Robert, I tell you what, I think you should do the next one. And I'm going to remind people that if they have requests, feel free to drop them in the chat window. And if someone wants to play a song, take the lead on one, feel free to drop your name in the chat window and let us know. And we'll see how this goes. We have an hour and a half tonight. This is fairly organic. And Robert, I love having a musical conversation between you and Mary. I'm just saying. So there's a lot we can do tonight.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. I know that Mary is a big fan, as I am, of not only blues but gospel as well. And there's some songs that just sort of fit that same 1-4-5, 1-5-4 progression that can really make you feel good. I think about the song "This Little Light of Mine," which is we'll do in the key of G, and it's like, "This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine." And see, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, whoa. Now we got a choice. We can go, I'm gonna let it shine, to the E minor. Let it shine, G, let it shine, D, let it shine. That's all there is to it. So you can throw in all of your bluesy licks in G, and it works just fine. All right, we'll take it in nice slow pace, and it's just one of those songs that make you feel good. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, oh, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, oh, I'm gave it to me, Lord, and I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, oh, I'm gonna let it shine. Hey, Alex, this little light of mine, Lord, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, Lord, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Solo. I ain't gonna make it shine. I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, I ain't gonna make it shine. I'm gonna let it shine. Ain't gonna make it shine, Lord. I'm just gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine one more time. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Lord, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, Lord, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, 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 let it shine.
Robert, that was fantastic. Great
Yeah.
Pretty good.
choice. And I just want to let you know there's a question. Fred Bishop wants to know, Robert, what can you tell us about that little parlor guitar?
This little guitar is a blessing. I am blessed with a number of really cool, unique guitars, and I hope to, pull some of them out in the course of this camp. This guitar is built by the same person, I believe, that built Mary's guitar, a guy named Tad Cambio, and it's the Fralini Guitar Company. The model is an Annunziata, and I think that's the model that Mary plays. But you'll notice,
No, mine's a different. Mine's the. Now I got to think about it. Now that we stepped
Angelina
out
or
of
something.
Angelina.
The Angelina. Yeah,
Yeah.
he names each guitar for one of his Italian aunts.
Yeah.
So I got Aunt Annunziata, you got Aunt Angelina.
Got it.
And
Yeah.
he even within the models he builds them all a little differently. He points them differently. You notice that Mary's got that beautiful tailpiece and all of that, but this one is kind of one of his plainer guitars, but it's made out of cherry and long scale, and it's kind of modeled after the style, size O guitars that guys like I'd say Charlie Patton used to play back in the 20s and 30s and stuff like that. And it really projects well for a guitar of its size. So I feel real blessed to have it, along with a number of other cool guitars that I have. But yeah, Todd Cambio out of Madison, Wisconsin, builds great guitars.
He builds wonderful guitars for a lot of roots-oriented players, and his specialty is 12 strings, lightweight ladder brace 12 strings, and parlor guitars. This one is really kind of an OM size, and I'd like to get a smaller one. I'd like one of everything that he builds.
Absolutely.
That's not going to be the case. Well, I wonder if we might, if I might make a request that somebody else do a song, because I have somebody in mind, and I'd like to pass this along to Alex, because Alex Wang and I
Yeah.
spent a lot of time playing together last Ashokan last year, and it was so much fun. And he has a song bag that is just filled with great songs. So, Alex, would you mind? Oh, we have to unmute you. See, I don't even see you.
Hi, Mary and Robert. Hi.
Oh,
Hi,
good.
Alex.
Can you guys hear me? Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Uh, Nice to meet you, Robert, because I didn't get to meet you in person this year.
Nice to meet you too, and I'm a big fan of your YouTubes.
I'm a big fan of you too. Yeah, I met Mary last year, and this year it's online, but still great to see you. Yeah, maybe I will play a Robert Johnson song. Maybe I have to find the lyrics for this one. I'll do Robert Johnson's "Loving Vein" in key of A. Okay.
Can you let us see your hand, Alex?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's the guitar sound?
It sounds pretty good. There's a bit of static on your end, but otherwise it sounds good.
Oh, okay. And I fall. So A chord. A. Yeah. Then E. I follow her to the station with a suitcase in my hand, and I follow her to the station. So D7 with suitcase in my hand. But it's hard to tell, E7. All my love's in vain, all my love's in vain. D7, then A, then E7, D7. That's only a part of it. Didn't get to practice. Yeah, I'll pass it to someone else.
Thank you, Alex.
Not really prepared. Yeah.
That was great.
Thank you, Alex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Who else would like to lead a tune?
Whoever want to be playing.
Yeah. Who would like to lead a tune? Anybody else?
Yeah.
So I just want to say one thing. We're not going to entertain you for an hour and a half.
No.
That's not
No.
going to happen.
Yeah.
So somebody's got to lead a tune.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, there's someone said Fred want to do one, I think. In the
Fred
chat.
Bishop says he'll do
Yeah.
one. Alex, can you mute yourself? Because I'm going to move on to the next person here. Great, thanks. Bear with me just a second, folks. Fred, can you wait? Oh, there you are. Fred, I'm unmuting you. So in just a
I will
moment,
unmute
there you
I am
go.
unmuted. I'm unmuted. I don't know whether I haven't got a pickup or anything. I'm just. Can you hear me from my computer microphone?
I tell you what, do you have original sound on?
Actually, yes, I do. Should I turn that off?
No, you want that on. That's good. And can you get a
Turn
little
on original
closer?
sound, right?
Get a little closer to the mic because it's hard to hear the guitar.
Hang on just a second. One of the reasons why it was hard was because I had a headphone with a microphone on. So how's that?
Oh yeah, loud and clear.
So anyway, 100 years ago in 1969, I think it was, I saw Ian and Sylvia. No, 1964. I saw Ian and Sylvia at a concert on a winter day at college, and I don't know if anybody remembers Sylvia Tyson, but she was a marvelous musician, and Ian Tyson was a great singer and a great musician. She wrote a song called Maud's Blues, and I'll play that. It's in C, and has a little strange, a little where you do an F to an E and a D minor, from an A7 to a D minor, G7 in there. So that's in the place. So we'll give it a shot. Losing is an easy game. Losing, it's an easy game. Hey, hey. It's easy to fall, so hard to climb. Pretty soon you're falling all the time. Losing is an easy game. Well, what can a loser do? What can a loser do? When my time comes, I'm gonna bar that door. Ain't gonna let my good luck lose no more. Losing, it's an easy game. Time for you guys to take solos. Take another one. Well, when I lost my last round, I said, when I lose my last round, cradle wood and coffin wood are all the same to me. They're both carved out of that same pine tree. Losing is an easy game.
Fred, thank you. That was fantastic.
Have you ever heard that one before?
I have never heard that one before, but I bet other people have. I just wanted to ask you, where are you joining us from? Where are you?
Well, I've been in the last 2.5 years, I've been traveling around the country.
Okay.
And I'm in, at the moment, I'm in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, which is about 60 miles south of Green Bay.
Yeah.
And I'm in my travel trailer, is looking, seeing behind you here. And I've lived enough for 2.5 years. I read all the French, everything. And interestingly enough, for anyone who has to travel, I had two Martins. I had a D35 and a 0015 in the trailer, and I had a little recording thermometer in one of them, and the 35 was starting to sound pretty funky. And it was one day it went from 45 to 110 degrees in the trailer, and the humidity was 10%. So I ended up selling it. I didn't get too bad a deal on it, but I ended up selling, and I have two two rain song guitars now, which are, I can leave it in the snow if I want to. So, they're fine. Thank you.
All
Good to see
right.
you all. Really is good to see you. Thanks.
Well, thanks
I
for
miss
joining
being at
us.
Ashokan.
Yeah, thanks for joining us from on the road with your guitars. That's great.
Yeah, in Madison, you could get to Madison, you could buy one of Todd's guitars. Madison, Wisconsin.
We have another volunteer, Sandy. Sandy, I see I'm unmuting you as we speak. Sandy, can you hear me?
For you.
Great. And where are you joining us from?
Midtown Manhattan, New York City.
All right. Well, listen, Sandy, take it away.
Well, first, I just wanted to say that I had the good fortune of seeing one of Mary's shows at Merle Fest a couple of years ago, and I had to get off the chair after she knocked my socks off. So I really appreciate the chance to take a class with her tomorrow. All right, so I'm going to do a Freddie King song called "Lonesome Whistle Blues." It's in C. It's just a 1-4-5. And you might hear my wife doing the harmony with me as I attempt to sound like a train. So here we go. Tell me the reason why. Packed up and left me, baby. Didn't even tell me the reason why. I didn't take a train, not because I didn't try. Well, along about midnight, baby, heard a lonesome bone. Long about midnight, baby, heard a lonesome bone. Baby, not because I didn't try. Here we go. But I'll leave now. Wanna find my baby, take my whole life to track it down. Find my baby, take my whole life to track it down. Why by train, you my old bloodhound. Here we go, everybody.
Oh, Sandy. Man, we got a jam going tonight. That was great. You and your wife.
Oh,
Fantastic.
and I can't help but also thank Mr. The Reverend too. I mean, great vibes. It is nice to see the tradition going, continuing.
Yeah, I just want to comment here that, we're all in our separate spaces, but I love that we're using Zoom to reach out across the universe and connect everybody tonight on this jam. This is very cool. Thank you, Sandy. That was great.
Thank you.
Cool. So yeah, that was really wonderful, and I love the wife in the background harmonizing, man. That's hot when you got a good backup singer, man. That's user.
I have a question about the Ian and Sylvia song. Back to, I can't remember his name now.
It was Fred. Let me find
Fred,
him here.
yeah. Yeah, I've never heard that, and I had a couple of Ian and Sylvia albums back in the 60s, I think. And they were kind of countrified. And I'm interested in that song. It's a really cool progression. I just wanted to say that. And Sylvia wrote that, is that correct, Fred?
I'm trying to unmute him. I tell you what, everybody, bear with me just a second.
Oh,
Fred,
sorry.
you're unmuted. Go ahead.
Okay, now, what was it you said? I was changing to over to my earphones. So, what it was Sylvia? What?
Did Sylvia write that?
Oh, Maud's Blues. That was her nickname.
Oh, Maud. I thought it was
And
M-A. Maud.
yeah, Maud, M-A-U-D, Maud's Blues,
Okay.
and that was her nickname, I guess, since she was a little kid or something like that. And she was, she really was a marvelous woman. I talked to her 2 or 3 times as we got older, and she was a super duper popular DJ, country music DJ up in Canada. Probably had the biggest radio show. Ian Tyson this year, now it's toward the end of the year now. This year was given the Gold Lifetime Cowboy Poets Award.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and I don't know if you remember Ian, but songs like shoot, I suffer from
Well, he had a
CRS
whole
really
bunch of, he
badly.
had a whole string of hits.
Soul string of hits, but usually some of the greatest cowboy songs that you've ever heard are his
Yeah.
stuff. His beautiful, beautiful songs. I
Yeah,
know a couple of them, and I just love them.
she's been in several groups since, and I've heard several interviews with her. She's a Canadian legend. And, but that's a
Yes,
great
yes.
song. I just wanted to say that. I've never heard her do a song like that.
Yeah, it was the only time I ever heard her do it was one time was back in the early '60s because they used to play at the Cellar Door in D.C. a lot,
Sure. Yeah.
and so I'd go over there from Lexington and we'd see them when they played,
Yeah.
and I never heard them do it live again. That song,
Mhm.
but they did lots. They just were just a wonderful group. They had beautiful voices and
Absolutely.
played
Yeah.
well.
They were
Yeah,
legends, both of them. Yeah. Thanks
yes.
for doing that.
Thank you, thank
Yeah.
you.
Mary and Robert, if I could just jump in, there's a question here on the chat list from Lita. The question about improvising for the pros here. So I know that includes Mary and Robert. It apparently includes a lot of other people who are performing tonight. But a question about improvising for the pros. Do you figure out what you're going to do in advance, or do you fly with no net? I am improvisation challenged.
Flying without a net. That's the way to go. That's if you really are improvising, you're flying without a net. And I don't think we have enough time to teach you how to do it, but sometimes you make mistakes and fall on your face, and other times you sound grand. So it's just a matter of experimenting. Some people use scales and pentatonic scales, and some people use movable chords, and some keys are easier than others to improvise in. So I'm sure there's probably a class in improvisation, I would think, this week. So I would encourage you to take it. What do you got to say, Robert?
Well, I agree. I mean, there are all different kind of strategies of improvisation. I tend to think that there are certain phrases that you like. Just like we have certain vocal phrases that we like. Somebody says, John Wayne goes, yeah, ha, ha, and you know it's John Wayne. Or Humphrey Bogart goes, yeah, if you can play it for her, you can play it for me. If she can take it, I can take it. You know that's Humphrey, right? So the idea is, as a guitar player, we've got certain things that we like to do. For example, like Lightning Hopkins. A lot of times you hear him doing something like this. playing in E, but sliding up to use a whole kind of C shape at the 7th fret to make that. And then from there he makes, and that shows up in a ton of songs. So if he's improvising in the key of E, even though he may not be thinking, or may not be thinking, if we're improvising, we may not be thinking exactly what we're going to do. We know if we're in that territory. Back to our maybe favorite pentatonic shape. So that is one of the ways that you can start to sort of expand your knowledge of the neck of the guitar, playing out of, for me, what works is playing out of chord shapes, like playing out of the E shape, and then playing out of the C shape, and then maybe playing out of the G shape. And then if I can sort of use those other shapes in between as connectors, then I could maybe go for something that goes until I get back. And if I hit the wrong note, like Mary was saying, if I hit the wrong note, the right note is just 1 fret away.
Or you just say that's the jazz part of this.
Yeah, that's the jazzy part of it, baby. Right.
Yeah, one little thing about that, there are certain places where everybody goes in certain keys, and in the key of E, a lot of people will go to this, speaking of Lightning Hopkins, this kind of stuff comes out of a D7 shape at the 3rd fret, using your 6th string in the bass. So playing blues in E, a lot of people land up here. That's the consummate blues chord for that key. An A7 and then B7 up here. I might talk a little bit about that in my class, whenever that is, my blues and ragtime class.
So the key is, in a sense, to get all those little pieces, all those little modules that you might be able to move from song to song. And when the key changes, your muscle memory will sometimes take you to a lick that you like. You know, like Mary was talking about that lightning lick. Well, that's also, that's also Chuck Berry. It's also Howlin' Wolf. And so you learn to move these little modules around, and it sounds like you're making it up on the spot, and you kind of are, because how you use the licks is improvisational, but the fact that you've got these licks, you're not guessing every time you go up the neck. You kind of know where you're going, and hopefully you know how to get back.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for that. A little teaching in the middle of the jam session is always
There you go. That's
Do we
why
have
they
any
pay us to
other people who would like to lead a tune? Don't all speak at once now.
I don't see any names in the chat window at the moment. How about if one of you take us through a song?
I'll do a tune. Yeah. I think it's my turn anyway, right? Am I right?
I don't know. You do.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, you're good.
Well, let's do an 8-bar blues in the key of E, and that does not mean that you have to drink at 8 bars before you can play it. It means you have 8 measures of 4 beats each. So it's I don't know if we've done an 8-bar yet, but so it means a measure of E, a measure of E7, a measure of A or A7, back to E. E, coming up on the 5, the B7, and back to E. This is a good song for the period the pandemic that we're living through right now. A little kind of a meditation song. This is a Leadbelly tune. Relax your mind, relax your mind. relax your mind. And when the light turns red, oh, shove your brakes down to the bed. One time, you've got to relax your mind. Everybody play one here. Relax your mind, relax your mind. Oh, it'll make you feel so fine sometimes. One time you've got to relax your mind. I'm gonna play a little bass part like this. And when you're driving in your automobile, keep your eyes down through that windshield. That's the time you've got to relax your mind. Once there was a man crossing the railroad track, you know what's coming. Oh, and he forgot to relax. That was one time he should have relaxed his mind. Everybody relax, relax your mind, relax your mind. It'll make you feel as fine as wine. Sometimes you got to relax your mind. So I'm gonna go back to the 5 here and do a little repeat of the last line. Sometimes you've got to relax your mind. Ah, relax your mind. Yeah, that's a therapeutic song if I ever heard one. I think Jim Queskin did that song with his band years and years ago. That's a great tune for today. That's your meditation.
Leadbelly was such a treasure.
Yeah,
Um,
great songs from him.
Yep.
Robert, if you don't have one right at the tip of your finger, somebody drop me a note. They'd love to hear either you or Mary lead us in "You've Got to Walk That Lonesome Valley."
Oh,
Wow.
okay. Well, I guess I can work my way through that one.
Walk it
I'd
for
say,
you.
and there are various, I'm sure, versions of it, but I very much like Mississippi John Hurt's version, which is actually a very cool song to play. I think the way, as far as I, as far as I can remember, the way he played it was cool because you use a G shape and you move it, and then you move it back. But the idea is you don't form the G, you don't make the G like you might normally make a G. You actually move the index finger to the D string. So it's kind of like this. So you got this little hammer on the D string while you're holding down the E string on the 3rd fret and the little E on the 3rd fret. So you got these two, and you're bouncing up and down on the D string at the 2nd fret. Get that part? As you're alternating between those two, I think that's all you need. All right? And then you gotta walk that lonesome valley. Then you move the whole shooting match, don't change anything, up to the 5th fret. You gotta walk it for yourself. Nobody see. can walk it for you. You gotta walk 7th fret, 5th fret valley for yourself. Back to the G, right? So you gotta walk that lonesome valley. You gotta walk it for yourself. Nobody else, see, can walk it for you. Back to the D, G. You gotta walk that valley for yourself. Jesus had to walk that lonesome valley. He had to walk it for himself. Nobody else could walk it for him. He had to walk that valley for himself. Your mama got to walk that lonesome valley. She got to walk it for herself. Nobody else can walk it for her. She got to walk that valley for herself. Gotta walk that lonesome valley. Lord, you gotta walk it for yourself. Nobody else can walk it for you. You gotta walk that valley for yourself. One more time. You gotta walk that lonesome valley. You gotta walk it for yourself. Ain't nobody else can walk it for you. You gotta walk that valley for yourself. You gotta walk that valley for yourself. You gotta walk that valley for yourself.
Robert, that was great. I've never seen that fingering pattern in the key of G before.
Yeah, you know, the thing that's really cool about G especially is like, you know, I was sort of explaining in the class, any given chord, you kind of can play the bottom 4 strings, the middle 4 strings, or the top 4 strings. I mean, this is a G, right, with nothing covered but that. And so that little hammer on, that little bounce, you hear it in some of John Hurt's music, that it just kind of gives it this really cool flavor. And to tell you the truth, if I had to write it out, I'm not sure what I'd call that chord. It's probably G with something added or something. I don't know. But it just sort of goes to show you that this music was not necessarily created by music theorists. It was created by people who were making music. No.
It's
Great.
very primitive sounding. It's very cool because it's primitive. It's like he heard that somehow and
Yeah.
made that work, and it's really unusual. And it reminds me a little bit of the Candyman groove,
Yeah.
which is in C, but the same finger goes over and gets that. It's a similar groove. That's really nice, Robert. I don't think I've heard him do that. That's great.
Well, a couple of folks have volunteered to do songs next.
Yay!
Michael, I'm going to grab you. I'm unmuting you now, and you should be able to.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Can you hear my guitar?
yeah. Michael, do you have? It's called original sound. Do you have original sound on?
I'm not sure what that is. Let's see. Original sound. I don't know what that is. I'm not computer savvy.
well,
Here, I can turn this.
That's all right. Strum the guitar again. It should be fine. I'm not going to worry too much about technical stuff.
Oh,
but-
geez, what's going on? Why am I? What's that? I don't want that. Out of there. All right, let me start again here. You're back. I can see you.
Yeah. It should be fine. Michael, just tell us where you're coming in from. Where are you?
I'm in Holden, Maine, up by Bangor,
Oh yeah. Okay. Great.
in Maine. No, you know Maine?
Yes.
You've heard of it?
Well, take it away, Michael. That's great.
All right, this is a rendition of Frankie and Johnny. And I know there's a lot of different versions and there's a lot of different things, but this is the way I learned it. And I don't know if you can see my guitar or not, but can you see my guitar? I can't tell because my
Yeah,
name's
no,
in the way.
thanks for moving the camera. That's great. We can see everything. That's great.
Starts out in C. So. Oh, now I'm really nervous, of course. All right, let me get it together. I'll get it together. See, I thought this would be real easy, but it's not. And I know it's okay, but you know.
Michael, you're doing great.
Oh, thank you. All right. Something's weird. Yeah, let me just try this. Oh, that's why. We had a big rainstorm a while ago, and I think it changed everything around. Humidity. All right. Take 22. Here we go. Frankie and Johnny were lovers. Oh, how they could love. When with each other, like the stars above. He was her man, but he's doing her wrong. Frankie went down to the bar corner, buy a bucket of beer. Said, hey, bartender, has my Johnny been there? He is your man, but he's doing you wrong. I don't want to tell you no story. I don't want to tell you no tale. I saw you, man, Johnny, cavorting with Nellie Bly. He is your man, but he's doing you wrong. The first time Frankie shot Johnny, he fell with a terrible thud. Second time that she shot him, there was another man in hell. He is her man, but he's doing her wrong. The moral of this here story, the moral of this old tale. You got a loving woman, you just better stay true. 'Cause if you don't, you'll be through and through. I hope that came through.
All right, Michael. Where did you
Call me back.
is there can you tell us where you got the version from?
I got this old blues book at a yard sale, and it was everything you need to know about the blues in 20 pages.
So really, you got that out of a
Like
book?
$1. It was like $1 thing, you know. It's not a Mel Bay thing, but it's It's just, no, maybe it is Mel Bay. I think it's Mel Bay.
It's great. You know, Frankie and Johnny, Casey Jones, John Henry, there's a whole family out there. I think in the blues universe, they're all related, and they're all going to live on in eternity in the music world. Thanks, Michael. That was great.
All right.
Michael, there probably are more than 20 pages. I just wanted to throw that
Oh,
out.
yeah, I'm sure there are. I have several books that say there are more than 20 pages.
You know, it occurs to me that 2 men have died in this one jam session. Mary killed one. Michael just killed one. So you know, these guys, the blues is a tough area for guys, man. So watch yourself out there.
And we might keep on doing it. You never know.
Michael, I'm gonna put you on mute now because we're gonna move on to the next person. Alyssa or Elisa, I am going to look for you here. Give me just a second. Oh, I've got you. Hold on one second.
Hi.
Alyssa, hi. Where are you joining us from?
Lawrenceville, Georgia. It's about half an hour from Atlanta.
Oh, this is great. We're covering the whole country here. Well, Alyssa, thanks for volunteering. Take it away.
Okay, I'm gonna do a Stones song. I don't know standards yet, like a lot of blues standards yet, but this is a blues, so it's an A, and it's No Expectations. So I'll walk you through it. And then it's A7, E, and A again. And then D, and then the regular A, E, take me to the station and put me on the train. I got no expectation to pass through here again. Once I was a rich man, but now I am so poor. But never in my sweet short life have I felt like this before. Your heart is like a diamond. You throw your pearls at swine. And as I watch you leaving me, you pack my peace of mind. A solo. Our love was like the water that splashes on a stone. Our love was like the music. It's here and then it's gone. So take me to the airport and put me on a plane. I got no expectations pass through you again.
Really nice, Alyssa. That was fantastic. I've heard that song all my life. I've heard a lot of people do it. It's a great song. It's one that it's gonna live on because a lot of people have grabbed onto that one. It's wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Alicia,
and you know that the Stones were the British bands loved the blues, and they would come over here and steal everything they could get their hands on, or they'd see the blues guys, you know, B.B. King or whoever, going through, and they, you know, they found out about Robert Johnson and took a few of his tunes, and they were educated a lot of people about who didn't really understand what they were doing, but eventually they figured it out that they were really, you know, playing a lot of early blues from the States. So you're right in there. That was great, Alyssa.
Thank you.
Yeah,
in
thank
fact,
you.
if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
Yeah.
21.
Huh?
21.
You are so good.
Thank you.
When you get your contract, could you let me and Mary open for you? If we're not too old, by the way.
Right.
But no,
Just
that
give
was
us a little
great.
credit on the record, on the cover, okay?
Right. Thank you.
Well,
Okay.
Mary or Robert, how about if one of you jump in? And by the way, somebody dropped me a private note and said it's Buddy Guy's birthday.
Oh, well, let's have some cake. Pass the cake around.
Happy birthday, buddy.
Yeah. Boy, he's 80 something, isn't he? 80.
He's up there, yeah.
Yeah, he's up there. Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I got to play at his club once, and it
Me
was
too.
yeah, the creaky stairs and it's like the ground hum when you turn on your amp. That's the real blues.
Well, he was sitting at the bar and I didn't recognize him because he's got a hat on and he's got sunglasses and he was just, you know, slumped down. And it was the worst night because somebody very famous had just quit the basketball team in Chicago. Now, who would that have been? The big star. Oh, I can't remember, but everybody was down and
Everybody
there
was
was a
gone.
game on and nobody was going to let the music start until that damn game was over. And I tell you, I thought it was never going to get to start. But I did talk to him a little bit, but he's really low key in that club. He's, you know,
Yeah.
nobody, you wouldn't know he's there. It's pretty cool.
So what do you want to do? You and me?
It's a toss up. I was thinking of a song that we ought to do something for John Lewis today.
Yeah.
Maybe like, what was I thinking? I shall not, or I shall not be moved.
Yeah.
I wish there was a way to do it together because I don't really
I
have
know.
a. Yeah, forget that, huh?
I'm gonna
I
mute
think
myself and
there-
play along with you.
There's just a couple of verses. Yeah, please sing along with me. I can only imagine how good that would sound. It would sound pretty good, I'm sure. How about let's the three-chord song? I think let's walk through it and see. G to D to dog, D-O-G. Back to G to C, G down to E minor, G to D. Oh, I shall not D, I shall not be moved. I shall not be moved. Like a tree that's planted by the water. E minor, I, D, shall not be moved. I'm on my way to heaven, sing it now. I shall not be moved. On my way to heaven, I shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's planted by the water. E minor, that's planted by the water. I shall not be. One last chorus. Yes, I shall not be moved. I shall not be moved, just like a tree that's planted by the water. I shall not be moved. I shall not be moved.
Mary, I don't know if you felt it, but we were all singing along with you on that one.
I could see everybody singing. It was great. Yeah. It was a very moving thing that happened today, and watching that thing go over the bridge a few days ago, I mean, it's really been something. Yeah. What a great guy.
Yeah. It's it's amazing. I've been to Selma and I've walked that bridge, and it's there's a whole consecration that happens, and you think about how our ancestors, you know, 50 years ago or so, really just did some things that changed our lives forever, 55, 60 years ago. And there are some cool songs that almost like every American should know because you never know when you're going to need them. That's one of them. Um, and then I think about the fact that sometimes a song starts as a spiritual, it starts one way and it evolves into something else. Um, I think about the spiritual in the key of C. Actually, I like to play it in C sharp, but that's okay. We'll do C since we don't all have capos handy. But it's the idea of I will F be alright. Back to C. I F will be alright. I will F G A minor. Back to G. Oh, C, F, C, F, G, A minor. Oh, I will be alright one day. Really, almost, not quite a blues progression, but certainly it's a 1-4-5 song with a minor, with the minor two thrown in, right? And then when you got a march, when you're John Lewis, when you're Martin Luther King, when you're Ralph Abernathy, when you're Cesar Chavez, when you're Walter Reuther, and you got to march to something, you increase the tempo, and especially when you're Pete Seeger, right? You increase the tempo and you turn it into a march, and it becomes we shall overcome, we shall overcome, we shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe that we shall overcome someday. Somebody yells out, "We are not afraid," and we are not afraid. We are not afraid. We are not afraid today. Today, deep in my heart, deep in my heart, oh, I do believe that shall live in peace. Oh, we shall live in peace. We shall live in peace. We shall live in peace someday. Oh, deep in my heart, oh, I do believe that we shall overcome someday. And one more that's even harder than black and white. Red and blue together. Oh, red and blue together. Oh, red and blue together someday. Oh, deep in my heart, oh, I do believe that we shall overcome someday.
It was beautiful, Robert. Yeah, it's great. It's one of those great tunes, man.
You too. I mean, I couldn't follow what you did with one meatball, which is what I had in mind. It's just going from the sublime to the ridiculous.
How funny. Oh, that's funny. So, you know, one song that has come up, I did a benefit for the ACLU. I organized one a couple months after that guy got into our presidency somehow. And I was trying to think of a good song for the ending song that everybody knew, and we ended up doing Ain't Gonna Let Nobody Turn Me Around. It's the two chords to the E, turn me around. Ain't let nobody turn. Keep on walking, keep on talking all the way to freedom land. And that's a great, like, sing along, two chord song. Make up your own verses. Ain't gonna let nobody lie to me. Ain't gonna let, you know, fill in the missing blanks. And then I heard that as background music for one of the things they did at the bridge. I think I heard that going on in the old footage. And that's just a really straight, really strong song.
And so, I think what Mary and I are both saying is, sometimes these songs are just about entertainment, but sometimes they're about change and, activism and whatever it is, that they're coming after. If they're coming after you because of your age or religion or race or whatever, it's really good to have some of those songs in your back pocket. And they are basically, they're based in old spirituals or they're based in 145 songs. So, it's really cool to learn how those work too.
They've lasted a lot of years, and they're still relevant.
Yeah.
Still great songs to sing. So, yeah, that goes hand in hand with the blues songs, I think. Folk music, blues music, whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
Peter?
What's that?
Yes, Robert.
I was just like, Peter? Chet? David?
And I just want to mention something since we're on that topic. I'm just going to give a shout out, since I'm the host and I can grab the mic and do this. A shout out to a record that I think sort of changed my life. If anybody has never heard Pete Seeger in Carnegie Hall in 1963 with the Freedom Singers, just his rendition of We Shall Overcome, it is hair-raising. It is absolutely one of those musical moments. Pete Seeger, Carnegie Hall, 1963. You will never forget it. If you have not heard it, it's on YouTube. It is worth a listen.
Cool. Thank you.
Yep.
That's great.
We have about 5 minutes left, so I'm going to bounce it back to Mary and Robert. You can trade off, or one of you can take it. We just have a few minutes left.
Boy, a few minutes. Okay. What do you think, Robert? I don't know.
Well, now that we have cushioned that song, that beautiful song you did, then let's go to the aforementioned One Meatball, which is which is
Perfect ending song.
It's
because
a
it's
silly song, but it's great. It's a great song.
I'm in Portland, Oregon, and it's dinner time. So sing
There you
about
go.
the meatballs, would you please?
Yeah. So hey, let's pass the meatball. What's really cool about this song too is that it's the same. It's a four chord progression that you just play over and over again, right? So it's like A minor, G, F, E. A minor, G, F, E. And it's a song that, Josh White did this song, but also it's the same song that Mahalia Jackson does for a song called Elijah Rock. It's the same progression. Elijah Rock, shout, shout. Elijah Rock coming up, Lord. And if you want to emphasize the sixth string as opposed to you want to emphasize the bass part as opposed to the treble part. But it's kind of like this. A little man walked up and down to every eating place in town. He looked the menu through and through to see what 15 cents could do. One meatball, one meatball. He could afford but one meatball. Everybody, one meatball, one meatball. He could afford but one meatball. He told the waiter near at hand the simple meal that he had planned. The guests were startled once and all to hear that waiter loudly call, one meatball, one meatball. Well, the gent here wants just one meatball. So you can take a solo, all your A-licks. The little man felt very bad. One meatball was all he had. He asked the waiter down the hall, he gets no bread with one meatball. One meatball, no spaghetti. One meatball, no ravioli. You get no bread with one meatball. The little man felt ill at ease. He said, some bread, sir, if you please. He heard that waiter loudly call, you get no bread with a one meatball. One meatball. Got my verses mixed up. One meatball, no ravioli. Get no bread with one meatball. welcome to America. No bread, no spaghetti, no ravioli.
So I don't know if any of you know this, but Robert has his own church in Detroit. And Robert, if we were a little bit closer, I'd be a lot more religious and go to church every Sunday. So I would like to see what you do in your church. I bet that's pretty amazing. But you've got a wonderful. Well, Robert's also a storyteller, and serious. I mean, not just a storyteller. He's a professional storyteller, and yeah, very talented guy.
Well, thank
Really
you.
nice to be on the same little thing with you here.
Well, thank you very much, Mary. And you know, I'm a big Mary Flower fan. And I stayed with you. In fact, the weekend of Columbine, I was staying at your house that long ago, and a major snowstorm hit Denver when you used to live in Denver, and then it's like it was gone after one day, and it was the most amazing thing. But I think you're one of the coolest people and one of the best players around, and so it's a
Thank
mutual
you, Robert.
love fest.
To you too.
Well,
Thank
this
you.
is great.
Thank you all for coming and spending the evening with us. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you all.
Robert and Mary, this was such a treat. And I was going to say all these wonderful things about you, and you both just did for each other. So I tell you what, I'm going to unmute everybody. Feel free to jump in and say hello to Mary and Robert, and a big round of applause. And thank you so much. This was a great evening.
Oh, it's really fun.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Enjoyed it.
Brilliant.
Great. Thank you.
Very healing.
I hope so.
I didn't kill anybody.
And I'm just going to mention, Mary, you have a class tomorrow, blues and ragtime guitar at 3. And Robert, you have a class tomorrow at 1, holy blues guitar. You're following each other. So
Good.
Ah,
everybody have a great night. Thanks for being part of this whole event, and we'll see you tomorrow.
thank you, Peter, for all your work. You did a great job. What a host.
Thanks, Peter.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Interesting.